Howdy. Well, right now we're about to start making our nice pork shoulder and butt roast. I'm gonna smoke it at about 225 degrees on a wood cooker, wood smoker, an Oklahoma Joe smoker. So right now I'm gonna go load up the chimney so I can get the fire started. And then at Walmart I found this nice wood logs right here, some hickory, so I can put that on after I got a good fire started. So we got this on sale. This is 9 pounds, and we paid $11.75 for it. So we buy a lot of meat on sale and just freeze it until we're ready to use it. So we use mustard, regular mustard as a base to hold it, hold the seasoning, and then got Weber dry rub, smoky brown sugar right here. Love it. So we're gonna take this out, and I'm gonna cut off a lot of this fat because we're saving fat. And we're gonna render it later once we get enough fat. Meaning we're gonna turn it into just regular lard that we can use for cooking. It's actually rather simple to do that. I need to sharpen this knife. Got my skinning and trimming knife. Much gooder. I know a lot of y'all keep fat on here to add flavor, but I promise you, cooking this, smoking it like I do, because I'll leave it in here to collect all the juices, and so it stays in its own juices, so it stays perfectly saturated. So yeah, I just take, it's not really a lot. I have found through many trials and many errors, it is much easier to cut meat and to trim meat and to slice meat when it is chilled rather than when it is at room temperature. Okay. Don't want to cut all this fat off. There we go. A good chunk of fat we'll be able to render, and I'll cut this meat off, rest of it later. There we go. There's a little bit of meat in here, so I'm going to cut this meat off, and I'm going to repurpose it for the dogs. I'll do that later. I got to get this thing going. Let's see here. That extra meat turned out so good that we ended up eating all of it and snacking on it as the rest of the meat finished cooking instead of giving it to the dogs for dog food. Now, we're not cruel. We did end up giving a little bit to the dogs, but to be honest, we did eat most of it. That's a little bit of meat. A little bit much meat in that one. Alright, that's about all the fat I'm going to take off of here. So I'm going to cook this at about 225, 200, 225 is where I'm about, is my target temperature. Till it gets to about 160. Then once it gets to 160, I'm going to cover it in aluminum foil. Then I'm going to wait till it gets to about 210. Then pull it and let it sit for a couple hours and then shred it. After a couple hours on the first cook, I will start spritzing it with that half apple cider and half water. Oh yeah. This is gonna be juicy. Alright. Good dog. Right now I just use this cheap Expert Weber grill temp probes. They work. They work alright. So I'm gonna run 2 probes in this. That way I can get a more accurate picture of the temperature. Gotta keep this thing at 225. I normally have to close everything up pretty good. Just barely have the vents open. Right now we're gonna sit here and still wait for this thing to burn good. I'm gonna go get something to drink. So I use this to just keep an eye on it, but I use this to make sure that it's good, because you can already see this thing says 90 and 66. There's no way there's that big of a temperature difference. Trixie and normally May have to come with us in order to inspect the food and check it out. Pretty good temperatures, a little cooler than I'd like, but this is my first time using wood. But, I'll just get my welder's glove. Alright. Smoke is something else. Tell you what. Yeah, this is the first time I've actually used real wood. I don't know, I was just stabbing them. These are good enough for the dogs. We're only at 130 of that thick piece. fire out. Yeah, buddy. Probably have to close that. That's gonna be way too much of a fire. It definitely perked up, didn't it? You turning that wood around. It's holding steady. We got 225 on that one. Almost a 250 on that one. So it should start dropping here in a few minutes. I'll give it about 5 minutes and I'll come back and check on it. Look at that rolling smoke with them logs. That is great. Running just over 200 on the left. Just under 225 on the right side. That's great. That's perfect.